1975. The golden era of disco was just beginning. People were dancing on the floors, glitter and bell-bottoms were everywhere, and a new wave of freedom was sweeping through the music industry. But that same year, a song came out that shook all of America. This song was so scandalous that radio stations banned it outright. Parents stopped their kids from listening to it. Churches gave sermons against it. Newspapers used words like shameless and immoral to describe it. And the singer behind this song became famous around the world overnight because of the controversy, but behind that fame was a painful story. What was it about this song that caused such an uproar? How did a single track split an entire nation in two? And how did this scandal change the singer's life forever? Let's go back to 1975, when disco wrote its most scandalous chapter and changed the course of history. Section 1. The Disco Era Background. The 70s were a time when a new revolution was happening in the music industry. Disco wasn't just a genre, it was a movement. In nightclubs, people felt free. On the dance floor, everyone was equal, no matter how rich or poor, no matter their background. This was also a time when, after the Vietnam War, America was going through a deep identity crisis. People wanted an escape, somewhere they could forget their daily struggles and just lose themselves in music and lights. Disco clubs became a safe haven for them. But alongside this freedom, there was also deep tension in conservative America. The older generation viewed this new culture with suspicion. To them, this music wasn't just noise, it was a sign of moral decline. And in the middle of this tension, a record producer and a talented singer came together to create a song that would change history. No one had any idea that this song wouldn't just become a hit, it would become a national debate. Section 2. The story behind the song. This song was created in a German-based producer's studio in Munich, where he decided to push electronic disco sound to a whole new level. His idea was simple, but bold. Create a track based purely on mood and sensation, with minimal lyrics and maximum emotion. The singer went into the studio, the lights were dimmed, and she was told to relax completely and perform as though it were an intimate moment. Inside the studio, only a mattress was placed on the floor, so the singer could feel more natural and comfortable. The result was something that had never been heard on radio before: moans, sighs, breathless vocals, and an almost 17-minute-long track that slowly built toward a climax, like a symphony telling a story through emotion. When the producers first heard the track, they themselves couldn't believe it would ever make it to radio. Some people in the studio laughed, others were left shocked. One engineer even said, "This song will either make history or end a career. There's no middle ground." Even the record label was unsure should this track even be released. Would radio play it? But taking a gamble, they decided to release it. And when it did come out, the world's reaction was something nobody had expected. Section 3. The scandal begins. As soon as this song reached radio stations, tension began. Several American radio stations banned it, calling it too explicit. Some DJs flatly refused to play it on air, saying it wasn't suitable for family-friendly airwaves. Newspaper headlines started appearing: "Is this music or something else? And has disco gone too far?" Religious groups called it immoral, and organized protests broke out in several places. Parent associations filed complaints, saying their children were being exposed to content that wasn't appropriate for their age. In some places, the song was treated purely as adult content, and some stores even started selling it wrapped in plain brown paper, like a restricted item. It became a topic of debate on television too. Talk shows brought in experts to discuss whether the music industry was crossing its limits. But here's the interesting twist. The more this song got banned, the more desperate people became to hear it. The controversy gave the song a kind of free promotion that no advertising campaign could ever buy. DJs played it in nightclubs, and the dance floor would fill up instantly, with people waiting for its climax like they were watching a live performance. People would buy it quietly from record stores, sometimes laughing about it with friends. Teenagers listened to it in their rooms, hiding it from their parents. This song didn't just remain a scandal, it became a cultural moment, where debates about music, morality, and freedom played out across the entire nation. Many musicians and critics defended the song too, saying it was simply a new form of artistic expression, and that the people banning it were afraid of a changing world. This debate wasn't limited to just one song anymore. It became a symbol of a much bigger cultural shift, where old ways of thinking collided head-on with new freedoms. Section 4. The impact on the singer's life. This controversy affected the singer's life more than anyone else's. Overnight, she became a household name, but that fame came with a heavy price. Many people only knew her because of that song, while her real talent, her vocal range, and years of hard work were overlooked. In interviews, she was asked the same questions again and again. Is she embarrassed? Did she know it would be this controversial? Would she ever let her own children listen to it? These questions were exhausting for her. A talented singer, who was simply performing her art, had to keep justifying her choices over and over. The media treated her as a controversial figure rather than a serious artist. But here's an interesting part of the story. This scandal also earned her the title of Disco Queen. She became one of the most powerful and famous voices of the genre, and for years afterward, her career lived both in the shadow and the spotlight of that one song. Every new album, every new interview, always came back to a reference to that same track. Some things in history become a person's entire identity, whether that person wants it or not. This singer went on to prove through her talent that she was far more than just one controversial moment, but to the world, she would always be remembered for the song that shook an entire decade. Today, decades later, this song is no longer a scandal. It's a landmark in disco history. Music schools discuss its production, documentaries mention it, and the very people who once banned this song now call it revolutionary, viewing it as a turning point in music history. This story teaches us something. Whatever feels scandalous in its own time is often simply ahead of its time. Art that makes people uncomfortable is the art that survives in history, while a lot of safe content gets forgotten with time. That 1975 song still plays today in clubs, on playlists, and in documentaries. And every time it plays, people remember the same old story. How one song could be so powerful that an entire country couldn't stop talking about it, and how one singer's courage changed the direction of the music industry forever. If you enjoy these dark, scandalous stories from Hollywood and music history, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next video. Let us know in the comments, had you heard about this song before? And which scandal story would you like to hear next?